Greetings to everyone. Welcome to the first assignment of Computer Organization Laboratory. Here, whatever we'll be learning in theory, you'll be trying to search, read, analyze in these assignments. Okay, so to understand COA, you should understand that is computer organization. You should understand how computer works actually. Okay, so what are the components of a computer? So the first experiment or first assignment is titled as identify hardware components of a computer system and explore different types of motherboards. I am Professor A.D. Sangrai from Computer Department, Sanjuni College of Engineering. So let's begin with the assignment. So what is a computer or what is a component of a computer system? So the computer hardware includes some physical parts which combinedly works as a computer. So which are those hardware parts? So we know that there is a central processing unit, or in short form it is called as a processor in short. Okay, then there are monitors, there are mouse, keyboards, hard disk, SMPS, etc., etc., etc. So this hardware part comes together and forms a system. But still, these hardware parts are again divided into three different parts. That is, input devices, output devices, and processing devices. Okay, so we'll be going through these devices. So everybody knows an input device, right? So any hardware component that allows a user to enter data or instruction to a computer is called as input component or input unit. So the basic example of input unit is keyboard or a mouse, right? So keyboard is anything which has alphabets, numbers, special symbols, and mouse is something which is used to navigate your pointer around the screen, right? So we'll go through that also. That keyboard used to enter information into the computer for a given command. A standard computer keyboard is a QWERTY keypad keyboard. QWERTY keypad means each and every alphabet is away from each other, or one key serves for one alphabet or one ASCII code, one or two ASCII code, that is smaller and capital letters. Okay, then mouse, the mouse is used to control the pointer on the screen by pointing and clicking, double clicking, dragging objects on the screen. Okay, which makes lot of things easier by using mouse. Okay, but a good programmer has habit of only using keyboard. Okay, he will use all those special character keys or special keys or command keys to operate the system. Okay, output devices, the job of output unit is to just receive data from any input device. Okay, and whatever is being processed, it has to be displayed on the screen. So it is opposite to input device. What input does, it gives data, instruction or command to a system, and what output does, either it takes something from input and directly displays as an output, or some process data from a processing unit to the display. Okay, or printouts. So it supplies information and results of a computation to the outside world. Means whatever is been done is shown. Okay, so information or results are shown. So the examples of output device are printers and monitors, for example. Now here in this experiment, while writing the write-ups for this experiment, you should at least write at least four input devices and four output devices. Okay, so keyboard, mouse are there, those are common. Okay, mouse, monitor and printer is there for output, which is common. At least try to find 2 to 3 new input and output devices while writing it. Okay, so we'll be moving towards the next, that is processing units or input output devices we have seen. Now we'll see processing devices. So for processing we need memory. It could be temporary storage or permanent storage. Okay. So primary memory means the memory which is used to store data for temporary basis, and secondary memory which is a large memory which can store data for a longer period of time. So all computer needs to store data. Okay, data is stored temporarily while program is running, that is main memory. And to store data for longer term, or to preserve the programs and data while not using the actual system, so that is also called as backing storage or banking storage. Okay, both words are correct. Backing is also there, or a banking means we store in it, and whenever it is required we take it, right? That's why we call as storage bank, right? Or power bank. What is power bank? It stores some charge in that power bank, and whenever it is needed we charge our mobiles through using those power banks. So it is temporarily storage charge, or if you are not using, you have charged your power bank and you have kept for months, still it would charge a mobile, right? So those are banking storage, right? So memories are divided into two parts, that is primary and secondary, I have told you. Okay, so primary is anything that stores data temporarily, right? So temporary area for holding data to store program which is currently being executed. Okay, hold data to hold data produce while program is running. Okay, so in primary memory there is ROM and RAM. Full form of RAM is random access memory, and for ROM is read only memory. Very correct. Okay, so here RAM is very volatile. Okay, as soon as the power goes off, that is if there is no power given to RAM, the contents of RAMs will be flushed, means it will vanish. But ROM is like it is written once during manufacturing or programming, and then it will, that programming won't be changed on ROM. Okay, so it is one time written memory which is used in microcontrollers or microprocessors. Okay, for like a fixed amount of programming is given, or fixed amount of work is given, that this work will be done by this chip only. Are you getting me? Nothing else. It won't do any other work. It will do only the given programmed work on it. So that is ROM, read only memory. You cannot write it. Okay. So there are different kind of ROMs also. Okay. There is EEPROM, that is EPROM, EEPROMs. Okay. So that is electronically or electrically programmable ROMs are there. Okay. But we'll see those afterwards. Okay. But here when we say only ROM, so that is read only memory which is not written again and again. Okay. So in secondary storages, everybody knows hard disk is there, floppy disk is there. Nobody is using floppy disk nowadays, but that was one old version, so I have put it. Okay, hard disk. So here floppy disk also use magnetic disks for writing it. Hard disk also has magnetic disks for writing it. Okay, and in our theory lectures also we are going to see how there are various ways of storing data and retrieving data. Okay, on a hard disk. Okay, those are called as RAD formations. So we'll be discussing when the syllabus goes front. Okay, so nowadays nobody is using floppy, but we are using our pen drives. So in pen drives also it is like a mini hard disk which is having magnetic disk on it, and which can be written again and again. You can delete the contents of a pen drive, you can what we say, delete it or write it whenever needed. Okay, so optical disc, everybody knows CDs are there, DVDs are there, Blu-ray discs are there nowadays, right? So the permanently storage memories are your secondary memories, which has more storage capabilities. Okay, it is also a backing store, or whatever I have said, like banking store or backing store. And the types of materials that are used, either those are magnetic disk or optic disk. Optical disk means your CDs which can be read or write by optics. Optics means lasers. Okay, are you getting me? Or lights. things which can be read write using light. So lasers are lights, right? So now next part in processing units are your processor, which is most important. Okay, so CU and ALU. CU stands for, it is written at the bottom, that is control unit. ALU is your arithmetic and logic unit. So this two combinedly executes a program, right? So control unit gives a control signal to other devices that what is to be done depending on the instruction or a command given to it. Okay, so it generates control signals, and in ALU actually the execution happens in ALU. I let that be any program, but there would be basic 3 to 4 processes only. Either it would be addition, subtraction, multiplication or division. Okay, so that is done in arithmetic, and there would be a logical programs also like AND, OR, XOR, NOR, like your logic gates. So that is performed in ALU. So perform data processing operations are done here. This is also called as brain of a computer, where actually commands and executions are done over here. So control the working of entire system is done by this processor or a CPU. So here we have learned the components of computer, okay, a computer system. The next part of this experiment is to understand the various types of motherboard. Now that is one big hardware which is most important. That's why I have not put that motherboard in this presentation. We'll be seeing that in next lecture. Okay. If you have any doubts in this input, output and processing devices, let me know. We'll discuss in our discussion forum. Thank you.